25 cars battle it out for domination in the second qualifier of Junkyard Joust Season 7. Hi everybody, I'm Aaron Yonda. Welcome to the Joust. We've got some returning teams and one brand new one. Let's head out into the garage and take a closer look. Sponsored by Chicken Rings, Onion Wings, it's the Alabaster Aces. They are back with an almost entirely new lineup. The tiniest cars to ever compete at the Joust, it's the MicroMobiles. The Silver Slivers have been around since the beginning and they are back to give it another shot. Jurassic Ride. Formerly known as Stego Sirius, this team has been reimagined and revamped. The Sunshades have been a pretty consistently good team, and now they've got Power Rocket with a different paint job. And we've got a new special guest in the junkyard.
Oh, hey, hi, Baby Cookie. I almost didn't see you there.
Hi!
I'm Dr. Malcom. I'm here on behalf of Chaos Theory.
I'll make a note of it.
Just checking in. Am I in the right spot for the joust?
All right, well, think about that question a little bit.
Looks like Jeff and Cookie are gonna get along great. Round one, here we go. 40's Woody starting us off for the Silver Sliver, sponsored by Chome. Not exactly a sliver, that vehicle, but I guess it's silver. Cyclops is up first for Wolvie's Wreckers, sponsored by Dr. Gonzo. A bit of an oof there from Cyclops, just flipping over upside down on the track. Not an auspicious start to the match. The MicroMobiles are starting off with the DeLorean, the mini DeLorean, sponsored by Sloss Automotive, Sachet, and Buffet. The tiny DeLorean smacks Cyclops, can't really do anything, too small. The illustrious Evel Knievel is on the Alabaster Aces this season, sponsored by Sid from Cybertron. Evel Knievel slides into the line, pushes the DeLorean farther under Cyclops. 38 Dodge Airflow for Jurassic Ride, sponsored by Sicken. The Dodge Airflow slams Cyclops back into an upright position. That's a recovery. Takes out Evel Knievel in the DeLorean, though. 57 Chevy for the Slivers, sponsored by Pick Your Sticker. Come on down to Pick Your Sticker and pick yourself a sticker, mister. A lot of recoveries on the track here. DeLorean flips back to an upright position. Very unstable, though, and Evel Knievel cannot make a recovery. And it's Wolverine, sponsored by Stump's Tree Farm. Wolverine takes out the Chevy. That'll be a loss for Silver Slivers. And I think the DeLorean is back upside down again? Yep, it certainly is. That'll be an elimination for the MicroMobiles. Now the MicroMobiles will send down the Checker Taxi Cab, sponsored by Chorgoth, the Infinite Horror, Destroyer of Worlds and Professional Dog Sitter. The taxi nestles in beside Wolverine on the track. It's almost strangely cute. Machine Hayabusa for the Aces, sponsored by Hazel Keaton. Oh, what a spectacular crash by the Hayabusa, taking out the taxi and taking out Wolverine and itself in the process. That is not a triple takedown. When you take out yourself, it doesn't count. Back of the airflow proved too much for Hayabusa. Cookie and Jeff Goldblum going down together in the 92 Jeep Wrangler Sahara, sponsored by Chicken Rings. They squeeze the Woody off the track and then start to drive off. Cookie falls out of the driver's seat. Somehow Jeff manages to stay in his seat.
That was exciting.
I was so preoccupied with whether or not Baby Cookie could drive my Jeep, I didn't stop to think if she should.
Bullwhip for the Slivers, sponsored by Mark the Music Lover. Bullwhip knocks the Jeep Wrangler off the track, but the Jeep does a great job of staying stable, recovering, and Jeff stays in his seat.
Must go faster.
Colossus for Wolvies, sponsored by Jesus. Colossus knocks the Bullwhip off the track. Bullwhip makes a nice handy recovery off the back of the airflow, and Colossus is slotted in. Police Car for the MicroMobile, sponsored by Beaks Busted Barn Finds. Police Car doesn't do anything, just kind of nudges Colossus, but you're not going to move a car that big when you're that tiny. Quarter Mile Coupe for the Aces, sponsored by Hendrika's Heavy Hauling. The coupe takes a stab at Colossus, but Colossus recovers. The police car also makes a recovery, getting tossed off the track. Here comes a big one, the Plesiosaurus Transporter, 100 grams, sponsored by Reaper EOD. A wallop from the transporter, and it takes down Colossus and the quarter-mile coupe, tossing quarter-mile coupe upside down, flipping Colossus over. Convenient that that vehicle has dinosaur legs to keep it stable on the track, too. Flash Drive, sponsored by Emo Dingo. Flash Drive can't get anywhere. The track is tight. Here comes an undercutter Magneto, sponsored by Judy Collins. Magneto tosses Flash Drive off the track, but doesn't take it down, and then stops at the back of the transporter. Can't get under. Here comes Formula One, sponsored by the Miskatonic Automotive Club. Formula One, theoretically an undercutter, but it's a micromobile, so not going to do anything. Look out below, here comes Shadow Jet 2, sponsored by Bentley's Brakes and Bumpers. Shadow Jet tries to take out Formula, can't do it. Formula makes a recovery, but Magneto flips over. Eliminated. Wolvie's Wreckers struggling in this match. 77-gram HW Tour Bus for Jurassic Ride, sponsored by Underdogs Unleashed, champion of the Apocalypse Joust. Even Shadow Jet can't get under the transporter, and the bus locks it in. GMC Motorhome, sponsored by Farty Marty. Motorhome smacks the bus off the track and then flips over sideways itself. Still on the track, so maybe a chance of recovery. Not sure about that though, because it's a motorhome. Storm, sponsored by Sean's Toy Room. Quick boot to the motorhome, and Storm takes it out for good, and then lines up behind Shadow Jet. Wolverine 4x4 tracker on the micromobiles. This is odd. Sponsored by Ripash. It's almost like it's Wolverine's little brother or something, competing on a different team. Oh, here comes a big hit, 101 grams, Greyhound MC8, sponsored by Jason's Bits Boys. The Greyhound slams two cars off the track, pushes Shadow Jet under the transporter. Storm hits a 6 on the way there, and guess what? The bus, the only casualty on that hit, took itself out with that powerful hit, flipping upside down. Wow. And I don't usually say this, but Alabaster Aces are in trouble. 93 Ford Explorer for the ride, sponsored by Chicken Rain. The Ford Explorer pushes the bus off the track into the motorhome. A lot of sliding around. The transporter starting to get knocked off the track, but no eliminations. Ford Explorer almost tipped over, but it didn't, and it will survive the round. That was the final car of round 1. 12 eliminations in total. That's about half the field. This was a massacre. Let's take a look at the aftermath. Alabaster Aces hit hard down to just Shadow Jet. Wolvie's Wreckers down to 2. Silver Slivers and Micromobiles at 3. Jurassic Ride only lost 1. They will start us off in round 2. Similar vehicle used to be on Thunderlords. Thunderlords have a new lineup though this season. The Woody slots in behind Airflow. And the Micromobiles police car bounces off the Woody sideways. It's going to take a big hit from Cyclops coming down next. And there goes the police car over the fence, spinning and flying all over the place, bouncing around. And it landed right side up. A success for the Micromobiles right there. Shadow Jet undercuts Cyclops, but Cyclops makes a nice recovery, flipping over to a survive. The Jeep Wrangler slams Shadow Jet underneath the Woody. Cookie goes flying. Jeff stays put. No eliminations on that hit.
You know, nobody could have predicted that Baby Cookie would fly out of a Jeep, although I had a pretty good hunch.
Bullwhip goes off the ever-dangerous back of Shadow Jet, and it proves to be its downfall, flipping over upside down on its roof. Formula One jabs ineffectually at the back of Shadow Jet and goes sideways on the track. Storm vaults Formula One into the sky, all the way over to the crates. It lands. I don't think it made a recovery. Makes it to a level 7 on the way there. I was expecting some height from some of these micromobiles, and it did not make a recovery, although it could in that position. The Plesiosaurus transporter slams into the line. Shadow Jet escapes, keeping the Alabaster Aces alive. Storm also escapes that big hit and makes a nice recovery.
Plesiosaur. Loch Ness Monster.
Flash Drive cuts in behind the transporter and comes to a quick stop. Micro Wolverine hits flash drive, can't do anything. Gonna take a big hit from the Ford Explorer, which somehow goes off of it, flips it over actually, and then hits the dyno, bounces off, and makes a recovery, hits a 6 on the way there after all of that insanity. Wow, that was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in the junkyard. Just a bunch of weird movements there. In contrast to round 1, only 2 eliminations in this round, and there are the 2. Both of the teams that were at 3 are now down to 2. That will even them up with Wilby's Wreckers. Alabaster's still alive with 1. Jurassic looking good at 4. Round 3, the 38 Dodge Airflow will start us off again. Jurassic Ride looking good right now. The Micromobiles are still in the match with 2. A lot of people didn't think they'd be able to probably even get this far, but they're doing okay. Let's see if they can keep it up. And as I say that, the police car makes a nice recovery after a hit from the Woody. Cyclops lifts the Woody up by the rear, flops it over. The Woody's not off the track yet, so could still make a recovery. A decisive takedown by Shadow Jet. Cyclops is done. The Woody makes a recovery though. It's a little 50-50 on that hit. The Jeep Wrangler handles the back of Shadow Jet with relative ease. Cookie gets thrown out, but otherwise no damage so far. Looks like that thing's poised to make an escape.
Don't you see the danger here, Baby Cookie?
Nope.
Wolverine's little brother knocks Cookie for a loop. That's about the only thing that thing can do. They are about the same size. That thing is so small.
All right, Baby Cookie, I'm going to put a drop of water on the back of my hand. Ah!
Again, the Wolverine 4x4 causing a weird mishap, flash drive driving off of it, going sideways and self-eliminating. Meanwhile, the Micromobile just stays set on the track. Storm causes Shadow Jet to get under the airflow, and it is tipping right now. The Wolverine tracker makes a nice escape, and the Jeep hangs on for the moment. A big hit from the transporter, and not able to do any damage. Flash drive goes all the way over. The Jeep Wrangler gets totally thrown over upside down, but makes a recovery.
Oh, goodness, this is chaotic.
Ooh, a nasty hit from the Ford Explorer. It takes itself out. It also takes out Storm, and it tips the Airflow over. Airflow wasn't even on the track, and it still got tipped over on that. Also looks like the dinosaur on the back of the transporter got loose, so that won't be coming back next round. Storm eliminated on that hit, and that means we are going to lose our first team. 5 eliminations in that round. Pretty devastating round. Let's take a look at the aftermath. Silver Sliver's down to 1. Wolby's Wreckers out of the match confirmed. Micromobile still at 2. Alabaster Aces still at 1, and Jurassic Ride loses 2 down to 2. Jurassic Ride down to 2, but they'll still be starting out this round. Random roll for running order, determine that they are first. And a nice little nip from the police car off Micromobiles. Solid slam from Shadow Jet, and the police car's thrown up into the crates and broken into pieces. The top of the car severed from the bottom, wheels all over the place. Wow, that is complete disaster for Micromobiles. There's no way that car can go down the track now. It is out no matter what position it's in. Savage hit from the Woody sends Shadow Jet sprawling, pinballs it over to the crates where it makes an incredible recovery, keeping Alabaster in this match like it's been doing the entire time. Taking another look at the damage on that police car, yeah, look at that. It is a mess, completely broken. I don't think I've ever seen a car that broken apart in Joust. Another huge hit, this one provided by the Jeep, tosses the Woody into the crates. It does not break apart, a little bit more solid than that Micromobile, and it somehow makes a recovery, latching itself onto the side of the track between the safety rail.
As an expert in chaos theory, I believe Junkyard Joust is my true calling.
The Wolverine tracker doesn't seem to like Cookie very much, always tossing Cookie around on the last couple hits, but can't do anything to that Jeep, which is stuck up on top of the transporter.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Micromobiles are gonna stay alive, barely. They've got 1 left in this match, and they are the only elimination in the round. Quick check on the Woody just to make sure, and yep, it's totally in. 3 teams at 1 left. Jurassic Ride still at 2. We go until there's only 3 teams left. Round 5, starting us off again. They're starting off with the dinosaur-less transporter this time. No airflow left to send down first. Woody hits the back of the transporter and goes curbside. The Wolverine tracker gets a pretty good shot in on the Woody. The always deadly Shadow Jet 2 takes down the Woody, tosses the Wolverine tracker over to the crates, hits a 6 on the way there, and that thing survives. Micromobiles have just survived and are going to the main event. The round's not over yet. The Jeep Wrangler gets hung up on Shadow Jet, but doesn't flip over. Cookie goes for a ride. I don't know how he does it, but Jeff Goldblum has been able to stay in the back of that Jeep every hit.
You should have worn your seatbelt.
Ooh, a tip.
And that is gonna do it. The Silver Slivers are gonna have to go back to the drawing board yet again. They have struggled to come up with a winning formula since season 1. Hopefully they can sort that out. Moving on, it's gonna be Micromobiles, Alabaster Aces, and Jurassic Ride. Jurassic Ride is gonna get the bonus action. Story of the match here was Alabaster Aces losing all 4 in the first round and still hanging on with just their veteran Shadow Jet. And it's kind of amazing the Micromobiles are moving on too. That police car is going to need some repairs, but they'll be back for the main event. That'll do it for Q2. Q3 coming up. Here's a few of the teams that will be competing in that. Pretty excited about some of these teams. I hope you are too. We'll see you next time on the Junkyard Joust. Thanks for watching.